Remember when people just wanted time to pass, they talked about the weather? Back in the days when noticing a change in weather was small talk, not an invitation to hard talk. This is the world as we know it. But to keep it like this, we need a radical change in climate policy, starting right now. The Copenhagen Climate Summit in 2009 is the most important public event of our time. But the task is far too complex for politicians to solve alone. That is why 30 internationally renowned businessmen, scientists and civil society leaders have joined forces to call for global action on climate change.
We brought together a very interdisciplinary team of people that can actually put together frameworks and prove that they are inevitable. They will happen.
Our manifesto as a business council says that by 2050 we have to be below 450 parts per million of CO2 in our atmosphere. Now that's a technical term, but what that really says is that we'll have then a fair chance of avoiding dangerous climate change.
It might look as if the Copenhagen Climate Council is on a mission impossible, but we are not. We do have the knowledge, we do have the energy, and we do have the resources to make a real change. And we will make an impact, and it's going to be a positive one.
I think we need a shift in thinking, a shift in the way we conceive of everything from accounting to profits to what is a good life. This is ultimately the shift that's going to be required to achieve true sustainability.
What we need to know in much more detail is what are the impacts going to be for each of our cities, for each of our regions, for each of our countries, so that governments can make decisions on investments into handling the impacts of climate change.
There is also an enormous amount of work to be done on looking at new technologies that are sustainable, technologies that will make a difference in terms of reducing the human race's impact on the environment. And to me, that's an enormous opportunity for business.
I think we have to understand every one of us has some power that they were delegated in this very critical time in our lives. The big question of leadership is not how do you get to the seat, it's what do you do with the power once you got into that position. And I think it's up to all of us to put this question in front of leaders, business leaders as well as political leaders. The question is, what do you do with the power that was granted to you? How are you going to solve this problem? How are you going to look in our kids' eyes 20 years from now and say, I did everything I could? Because we don't have time. We ran out of time 10 years ago.
With every revolution, from wood to coal, from coal to oil, and now from oil to the renewables, we've seen an expansion of the economy and a growth in profits. That's just the way the world is. What I'd really like to see is those innovative, advanced businesses rewarded for taking the risks that are required to make those transformations happen.
I believe we all hope for a global agreement. But I also think it would be very successful if business could demonstrate a lot of good examples of why it makes a lot of business sense to address climate change.
After many years working on the problem as a professional, it's very encouraging to be part of an enterprise that I've helped to create, where business solutions look attractive to investors, and where we in turn, as an investment business, can pass on our knowledge and enthusiasm for solving this problem to other businesses.
The climate change and global warming is not only a threat, it's a huge opportunity to make fundamental change in the global behavior.
The state is in action. Scientists are doing research. Enterprises are reducing emission. And every people on Earth should join in the cause of coping with the global climate change.
You know, if we are to succeed in Copenhagen in 2009, we need assistance from all kinds of groups within society.
The world can't afford to see Copenhagen fail.
turning risk into opportunity. Copenhagen Climate Council.